Hello, welcome back to The Debate with me, Laura Woods, Paul Merson and Paul Dickov. We're now focusing our attention on the top four. I have quite a scary stat for you. Let me read this. In 9 days, Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal and Manchester United have dropped a total of 27 points. City and Liverpool have dropped 33 between them all season. Right?
Wow.
So basically what we're saying is no one seems to want to finish in the top four out of these four clubs that could potentially do it. First of all, let's just have a little look at who we think needs these spots the most. We'll start off with Arsenal. Is Unai Emery allowed a little bit more grace because he is slowly unpicking a culture at Arsenal that has been there for 20-odd years? I mean, either of you can answer that one.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to need a bit of time. You know, obviously Arsene Wenger was magnificent the amount of time that was there, but it was the same problems that were happening over and over again. You know, and if you keep making the same mistakes, especially I'm talking about the transfer market, it's going to come back to bite you. And you know, they've never ever addressed what's happening in the defence with the centre halves, with the full backs. You know, and for me to see Arsenal, with the Arsenal that we were at, Merson, you know, where it was all based on the defence, to see them never addressing that's going to cause them problems for a long time.
Big problem, Paul, is when you look at what they're doing away from home. The Emirates has been a fortress this season, pretty much, but away from home, these stats are quite scary. They've taken 22 points in total, so in the league, they're ranked 10th with that. They've scored 28 goals, that's 6th in the league. So the problem isn't necessarily always with attack away from home, but conceded 34, which puts them 17th, and this is awful. They've only kept 1 clean sheet on the road this season in the Premier League, which puts them bottom of the Premier League, 20th, and then 15 errors leading to goals, which is pretty much bottom as well. I mean, why is this such a problem? Unai Emery, he did have this problem as well, clubs that he's managed before. He's not very good away from home.
Yeah, I'm worried. I am worried. I do like the manager, but in the last few weeks I've started to worry because he went to Everton, he played Mkhitaryan and he played Ozil, and they got the floor wiped, they got slaughtered. And then 2 weeks later he goes to Wolves and plays the same two against a team like that. Now, surely sooner or later you've got to look and go, right, we're playing against a Wolves team that if you ever go at Wolves, they'll give anybody a football match. They've been beaten twice by Huddersfield. You look at their record against teams that sit back and make it tight. Now, why is the manager not seeing that? Why is he not seeing that? And it's a worry for me. You know, we look at... These need about 6 or 7 players. And the more worrying, that worried me. And then it got worse on Sunday. They went to Leicester and got ripped to shreds. You know, if Arsenal get beat, they have 60 or 70% of the ball. They had 27 first half. 27% of the ball. And this is against a Leicester team that don't have a lot of the ball. They've never had a lot of the ball, Leicester.
They were down to 10 men.
No, but before that they had 27. Yeah, but no, 26.
It's not even that for me. The second balls.
Yeah,
you know, and Leicester players on the front foot, winning tackles, wanting to get in. You know, the amount of times the ball was bounced in the middle of the park, Leicester players were the one that's picking up. And I know they were down to 10 men, but that's basics. That's the bit of desire.
10 men, you only sit one up front, or you put 2 up front and 4 and a 3. You know, that's all. But you look, I take the Leicester back 4 on Arsenal's all day long. I'd swap the whole lot tomorrow morning.
Anyone from Arsenal's back line, would it make Leicester's at the moment?
What?
No.
Would any of Arsenal's back line make Leicester's at the moment?
Not a chance.
Not for me.
To be fair, there's not one at Man United would make Leicester's.
Yeah. Do you agree with that?
I would think Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell slightly, but then...
Yeah, I like Chilwell. I think he's a good player.
So what's the problem? Is Unai Emery not... I mean, is he not giving these teams on the road enough respect? Is he not doing enough homework? Is he not approaching it in the right... Why can't he win on the road at the moment?
I think if you sat him down now, I still honestly don't think he knows what his best Arsenal team is. Yeah. I don't think he knows what his best Arsenal team is. I think they're that bad in positions that he literally, I think... He probably plays bingo in his office. He must literally draw numbers out and go on then, 7 will play, 32 will play. And I seriously think with 36 games in, and I seriously don't think he would know. I don't think, because it changes every week, the team.
But Paul, in his defence, he's not been given that much money in the transfer market. He's not really had a lot of time as well.
Cardiff have had more clean sheets than Arsenal. No, they have. They've had more clean sheets away from home than Arsenal. How's that work?
Yeah, I don't know.
But for me, I think, look, it's all right blaming the manager. You've got to look at the desire of the players as well. And do they actually want to be there? You know, you're talking about other clubs having a big rebuilding thing in the summer. I think Arsenal get huge, and because they're absolutely miles away. And I mean, not just in terms of 6 or 7 signings. I'm on about 2 or 3 seasons.
All right, let's move on to Chelsea just before we run out of time, because this is a club that might not be able to build and to use any transfers at all. How much do they need European football? And actually, when you look at the culture of that club, is there more pressure on Maurizio Sarri because they expect success continually?
Well, seriously, I don't know how, when Leicester went for Brendan Rodgers, that someone at Chelsea didn't bring Brendan Rodgers and say, just wait. Just wait 6 months, because I can't see Sarri being there, because the fans just ain't having it. I don't see him being there. If they're not allowed to buy anybody, Brendan Rodgers gives youngsters a chance. He gets people playing. They play a certain way. You know, and you like watching. You've only got to look at what he's done at Leicester in 8 weeks. They're passing Arsenal off the pitch. You know, last year and the year before, they were having 30–40% of the ball top whack. Yeah. Now they're passing a good a team that can play football off the park, and if they can't buy anybody, he'll give the youngsters a chance.
Since Brendan's been
you know what he does? He makes players better. Yeah. That's what he does. He makes players better. What good coaches should do, and he does that.
Is Maurizio Sarri not making players better?
Well, the players are already there. Like as Paul says, people just buy players already. That, you know, he's stuck with Jorginho. You know, Higuain was great. He was great. Believe me, 5–6 years ago. Now he's 30 odd years of age. I mean, how many forwards are playing at 30 years of age? The game now is like 21 to 29, 30, and then you do well. Yeah. You know, and if you keep on playing after that, at the top, it's hard. It's hard.
What about when you look at the young players then? Callum Hudson-Odoi, obviously this injury has come at a terrible time because he just managed to get
look at Loftus-Cheek.
Right.
He was one of their best players against Burnley, and he's sub.
Yeah. Ross Barkley as well.
Ross Barkley again. He don't get a game now. He had a little run. He got in the team. He's done all right. And then it's like, I tell you what, younger. If you can tell me in the next 25 minutes what Kovacic does for Chelsea, let me know in 25 minutes.
Yeah. You can tweet that.
What does he do?
Well, he gets taken off before he gets sent off for a start.
Yeah, but he don't score goals. No. He ain't got hardly any assists. You know, he plays Jorginho. He's got Kante, who's the best holding midfield player about in the whole world. Honestly, they missed the trick, Chelsea, with Brendan Rodgers. And I think Leicester, I keep on going on about it, Leicester next season will be a team to watch.
Will we feel differently about Maurizio Sarri if they finish third and they win the Europa League?
I think it might just paper over the cracks. And I also think if Arsenal finish in the Champions League place or Man United finish in the Champions League, they might sort of think everything's OK.
Yeah, I mean...
But it's just papering over the cracks that's there already.
At the end of the day, Arsenal and Chelsea getting in the Champions League, what for? The money.
Yeah.
They can't win it. So they're going it for... It's like Rotherham entering the FA Cup. They're only trying to get as far as they can to earn as much money or get a proper cup tie. And that's the thing with if Arsenal got in it, what chance they got? What chance they got?
Their recent showings has been last 16s pretty much. So you're saying that that's pretty much the best they can hope for.
Exactly. So you're literally going in it for the money. Man United have to get in it because they need players, and you know they need to bring in top quality players, or they got to go and they start and they go to Ollie. You know what? You've got 4 years here now. Get some youngsters in, like Hudson-Odoi is injured now, you know, but someone like him and Sancho, you know, get a couple of young players in who are enthusiastic, got pace, play with energy, and play like the old Man United did. I mean, I'm watching them now. Honestly, it's cringeworthy. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
On that, Merson, the two big things for me with United is who's going to sign the players for Ollie? To go and get it done. They keep talking about director of football and everything else. I think a bigger problem might be is getting the ones out.
It's getting the ones out, but the problem is as well is players will be looking at this, and they'll be going, wait now, I'll go Man United, it's 75,000. They're a million miles behind Man City. They're a million miles Liverpool, who are their arch enemies.
Especially the level of players.
You know, and then I'm going to come in. Where am I going to? Where you know? Where am I? And you look at Mourinho at the end. It's sort of like it was a relief that he left because he probably thought, how am I going to close the gap here?
Well, Mourinho said that finishing second that season behind City was his greatest achievement.
It was a bit, honestly. You look at it because he would have looked at Liverpool as well and thought, you know, Liverpool are coming. You know, they're not going to be far away. You know, Chelsea have got good individual players. They're not really a team, but they've got good individual players. You look at this. If it was me, and you know, I keep on going back to these are the biggest club in the world, in my opinion, Man United. I think they're the biggest club in the world. If they come in for me and I was a top draw player and I could go other places, I would seriously be looking and thinking, would I want to come here? Are we ever going to get near Man City, or are we ever going to get near Liverpool?
Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid are all going to strengthen as well.
Exactly.
So what sort of level of player are
but Barcelona and Real Madrid, either one of them are winning the league. Yeah. Bayern Munich, as you sign for Bayern Munich, they give you the medal straight away. You just don't show it until May. And then the other thing is, with Liverpool and Man City, they're so far ahead. And as you're a star player and you're getting bought, say, for £100 million, the pressure's on you to perform, and it don't matter how you perform, they're a long way behind at the moment. And I feel for the goalie, that's covering over the cracks.
Yes.
They're not sixth in the league because of the goalie, believe me.
Saying about them finishing second, they were 19 points behind last year, and about trying to bridge that gap. They're now 27 points behind Man United, Manchester City, sorry. So they've just fallen for them. There's a lot of work to be done. Huge amount of work to be done.
There's one more team that we haven't mentioned yet, and that, of course, is Spurs. Do you think now what's happening? I mean, they've 12 losses this season. That's just in the Premier League. Last season, it was 7 for the whole season. How are they third at the moment when they've lost that many games?
Because they don't mess about. They either win or they lose.
Yeah. One draw.
Yeah, win or lose. You know, teams go, oh, 2 draws and a win, or 3 draws, a win, and they're 4 games undefeated. Tottenham had 3 wins and a defeat, and they got 9 points. And it looks all right when you go 10 games undefeated.
If you get 6
but
draws,
if you've got 6 draws in that, that's no good. What these have done is seriously good, because they've got a new stadium. They've kept all their players at the moment.
They've struggled with injuries.
The games are caught up. They haven't got the biggest squad in the world. Again, you look on the bench. They haven't got a lot of game changers on the bench. So for what they've done, and it's a shame. I think. I really fancied them against Ajax. I really did, because I've watched Ajax, and Real Madrid and Juventus give them no respect at all, and they caught them and they embarrassed them at the end. Tottenham will show them a lot of respect, but I think if they had their players fit, they would have definitely beat Ajax. But now you look at it with the injuries and some of the players missing, and when I watched them against West Ham the other day, they look like they're running in treacle, a couple of the players.
I think it's amazing what they've done.
Yeah.
I think with the Wembley moving to the stadium, you know, saying about the injuries they've done as well. But I actually fancy them in the Champions League over 2 legs.
Yeah.
With Ajax. I know they've got their injuries and everything else, and I think the West Ham game on Saturday, they've possibly had one eye on the game this week with Ajax as well.
So how much do you think Spurs, when you look at those 4 teams, Arsenal, Chelsea, United, Spurs, who needs it the most then, Champions League football next season?
I would say Man United.
Yep.
I think for the amount of getting players in and getting players out, I think Manchester United, because they're so far behind at the minute.